Yes, another episode on education. Education is a matter of national and international importance. As we have always said, the society can only be changed by people who take chance or who take responsibility to receive, learn and relearn. On today's episode, I have an educationist, and we are going to discuss the new curriculum and its impact on the future of education and teacher welfare. We have seen P7 students receive their results and they are entering in a new curriculum of lower education. But subsequently, the A-level curriculum is also at the verge of being changed and will receive a learner-based curriculum. So with me here is an educationist who has been in the field and is in the best shoes to give good highlights and good recommendations on how the Uganda's education system should look like and how even workers, teachers, online teaching staff that identify with the educational institutions should be treated. Let me allow him a second to introduce himself and we proceed with the discussion. Welcome to the show, sir, and thanks for allowing me to speak.
Thank you very much for hosting me. It's a pleasure being here. It's always a pleasure when we get chance to speak education matters. By name, Muhanguzi Sharif, a teacher and an educationist, as he has said, a passionate person about quality education, bearing in mind that the nation is because we are. That is what UNATO says, and that is what we all say. The picture of a teacher is the picture of the country. So it's always a pleasure. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Sharif, for showing up. And it has been a long-waited show from the viewers out there because we had taken some time to really talk about education. Us being in a political season, sometimes we may go offside the track and leave out education. Straight away, we have seen in Parliament, they have been discussing the budget framework paper and the resource allocation to the education sector is not that has been very high. Yet, we have a new curriculum of A level that is going to be brought on board and implemented. One, for the past few years, they have implemented the lower level curriculum. How effective has it been before we can even think about the challenges that are posed to be faced by the A-level curriculum?
Thank you very much. On the question of how far it has been effective, allow me give a background to this. When we go back to the curriculum we have been having, one thing called a curriculum. For all of us, we are talking about curriculum, but we are all not putting it in context. Curriculum is just simply what is measured to be learned. And what determines what to be learned is the problems that the country is facing. And I think the people who are working in the NCDC did not take enough time to examine the past curriculum that we have been having before rolling out this new curriculum that we have been having, because it's not in English they use these words new curriculum, and then this word new changes the whole meaning that you have about this thing. But we are moving from the content or the knowledge-based curriculum to the competency-based curriculum. That is why it is called CBC. And this CBC is looking at empowering this learner to have a competence, not having the knowledge. Because historically, by the time we started this education, it was brought by the missionaries. All they wanted was to give us the knowledge on how things operate so that we can be used by them. But then time has come, we are moving away from that generation of you having knowledge on something. We are moving now to a period where we need people who can do something, not people who know something, but people who can do something. And I highly commend the developers. They made a very good framework. On paper, it is very good, But the problem came into the implementation bit.
Thank you. Before even you can proceed on the implementation, teachers who taught you, you found them in field. For them, with the knowledge of the old curriculum, now the new teachers are the one who are trying with the competent based. But even the old teachers have not exited the education teaching sector. Do you think they are willing to adapt, or they have adapted to this new lower curriculum, or they are the one making it lag behind?
The question on the existing teachers. Yes, the existing teachers, their problem is one. And that is a discussion that is too big on the motivation. Because I would like to make an analogy on the two careers, the lawyers and the teachers. Lawyers are learned people. For them, they ceased learning. They are learned people. But teachers are learning people. So ours is just learning. It is continuous learning. So there is no problem with teaching a new curriculum, because it's simply content changing. The delivery, just your mode of delivery changes. So it's just a question of motivating these new teachers. We wouldn't want them to leave, because the experience they have already mastered this content, and we still need that their presence in the staff room, so that we also be mentored with them. But the problem is with the implementation bit. These people who are implementing this curriculum, they chose to superimpose it on the teachers without their consultation. There was very minimal consultation with the teachers. If we were consulted fairly and equitably, we would welcome this curriculum. I've seen staff rooms that are very much interested in this curriculum, and people are enjoying it, people are implementing it in different schools that have the capacity to implement it, because it eases the teacher's work. If you go on with it, it helps your work. But the problem comes in the funding bit, and that government has not address the funding bit. This curriculum requires a lot of resources for you to bring out a learner very well, of which we don't have.
Now, like you have said, there is a lot of income disparity, and even when it came to increasing salaries for science teachers, it created a picture as if arts subjects are not so much necessary. How are arts teachers adapting? Don't you think they are so demoralized and they are not bringing out the best the way they are expected to do? Because in the new curriculum, there are a lot of projects to be done practically by students. Your thought about that?
My thought about the arts teachers adapting to these disparities. There is nothing to do. We have to adapt. There is nothing to do. But remember, like we all said, this learner is a sum up of all of us, the arts teacher and the science teacher. So when you choose to demoralize one, we will not push this learner equitably. So that is the challenge that is coming out. That is why we are not seeing much improvement in the science performance, because it's not only science that is on the pass slip, it's even other subjects that are arts. So government is still quiet about that, and on the discussion of the National Chairs Bill, it was also not talked about, which is a very huge mismatch in production of a holistic learner.
What main challenge, which is unifying all the teachers, do you think, you don't even think you have faced it because firsthand, because you are in that curriculum, you are facing that is limiting the progress of the new based curriculum?
Challenge number one, like I've stated in the first submission, we are having a funding challenge. The resources that we need to use in equipping these learners with enough required skills, we have not gotten. The challenge number two is it also goes back to the funding. We have not gotten enough skilling and enough sensitization on this. It goes back to the continuous development program, the CPD, which we have not invested in as a country. I've attended some national curriculum NCDC workshops that I have conducted, but it has become an accountability for money. Even some teachers attend these workshops because of the transport refund, not because of the content they are going to give. Challenge is one, you attend more than, if you attend one workshop, you will know what they are going to teach you in the next one. There is nothing changing. Even people who have been entrusted with the role of teaching us and sensitizing us about this new curriculum, they're also learning it. And you don't get a lot from them. And it
Doesn't that the government tried to implement this curriculum when they were not ready?
Probably they were not ready when they are rolling out this new curriculum. And I wonder, it's the same problem that is going to happen to A-level students. This competency-based curriculum has not been implemented for the first time. We have heard of a new curriculum in primary level. This has been a phased improvement. We started with P1 to P3 and we gave them a thematic curriculum. It's competency-based. We went from P4 to P7. We gave them a competency-based that was rolled out, I think, in 2011. They are moving in a competency-based curriculum, and the government program was this senior 4s, by the time they reached senior 1, they were supposed to start off with a new curriculum. This was already in plan, in a framework. It's not something that came out of a blue. Plan was there, and still they knew when they reach senior 4, they will need an A-level new curriculum or competency-based curriculum, reason from the content-based. But still, they looked at them go from senior 1, senior 2, senior 3, senior 4. Now, after exams, even just few weeks from the exams releasing, people are gambling about the new A-level curriculum, and they are starting to conduct workshops. And the workshops they are conducting are Zoom-based workshops. How do you expect schools in the village to attend a Zoom-based workshop? How will we get to interact with these facilitators very well in a Zoom conducted workshop? I've so far attended 2, but even the people who are orienting us about this new curriculum, they're also gambling on this, and it makes us question on the technocrats in this implementation bit.
Now, you are an educationist. Our dear out there is very much interested now, because you see, you have been in this new based curriculum for close to 3 years. Some of them don't know the content contained there. So I want you to help us break down the contents contained in the new based curriculum of O level. Then you transition me to the new curriculum of A level that is coming. Then we see how the lower curriculum, the lower secondary curriculum, is connected with the A level curriculum. Because parliamentarians, everyone is crying. My daughter has finished senior 4, but we have not yet rolled out a new curriculum. We don't know what they are going to study.
First of all, the changes that happened in this new curriculum, or this competency-based, let us call it CBC, competency-based curriculum, because when you say new, it creates a new meaning. People get worried. Yes. It's a competency-based curriculum. We are simply looking at learners being competent. That if I am teaching you how to use a computer, I will not give you notes about using a computer. I will simply take you to a computer, and I make sure by the time I finish teaching you, you have learned, you are competent at using that computer. That is where we are. Most of us in the villages, there was some YouTube video that was trending of a teacher who was teaching rural people about a computer, and he had just drawn them on a paper. So we are moving away from that. And then the changes that also happened is, that one is the content. The changes also that happened is the assessment. Remember, in the past we had only one monopoly on the assessment. UNEB had a monopoly on this assessment. You would sit the final exam and 100% will be there. But NCDC has broken it down and has given 20% to the teachers, and this is continuous assessment. From senior 1 to senior 4, you are given these activities of integration where the teacher interacts with you on a daily to see, are you learning? Are you improving? Are you becoming competent at what you are doing? Then the 80% has remained with UNEB. That is the final exam, and that is what we are all waiting for, is that 80%. And we have all submitted our 20%. But even this 20% we are submitting, teachers are still ignorant. Teachers are still lacking information on what should we submit. UNEB is also learning in the process. So we are learning in the process. Then To draw it, to relate it with a new A-level curriculum, remember this one on the 20%, it has the 10 is this work you have been doing, and then the 10 has been put on the project. You know, the world is moving with projects. Learners should be taught on how to handle a project. Maybe I'm handling a project on farming, I'm handling a project, and then you do it throughout your educational life, so that when you move out, you can at least start on a project on your own, and that is also 10%. And that is what we are now seeing, how NCDC is going to incorporate these two assessments, the continuous assessments, into this new A-level curriculum, because we all know we have been studying the notes and then you go for UNEB, but UNEB is going now to have only 20%, and then we are going to include all these projects and continuous assessment. But then the question is, how are they going now to adjust this teacher who had also prepared his notes already? How is he going now to change again, to redraw back? This is why I was wondering, why didn't they start it at least a year back? And then we are given that full year to see how do you structure your content, how do you prepare your lessons, how do you engage the learners, so that by the time they come by March, because by March they will be in school, how are they expecting us to use only 1 month to readjust the whole of this content, and then we also face these learners?
Which cancer is faced by the education sector of Uganda? Start implementing things when they wake up one day and they think about bringing a new thing, they put it there as if you are robots, you are going to adjust the way they expect you to.
I don't want to bring it to politics, but we have made everything political in this sense, that everything people look at is money. People look at is money, and they're also giving a condition that what has affected this implementation is money. You have seen them present a 25 billion request for them to adjust this one. But then even this money they are going to give us, we are not going to see what is going to happen. And then the problem now comes in the mismatch between these two bodies, the UNEB and the NCDC. There is also a mismatch there. It is also becoming a cancer. Then another problem is lack of consultation from the grassroots implementers of these education policies. We have been seeing the national teachers policy, and it has also been out of a blue. But this thing has been there. People are commenting about it. People are giving their input, but the government is closing its ears on all these inputs. All they are waiting for is in case any budget comes out and money is put there, how will they account for this? Bring out this one, implement it, make an accountability, and everything is done. But they are not minding about the criticality and the importance of the education sector.
Thank you so much. The educationist is making sense of what the secondary education is looking now, and how it is going to look like. We are continuing to break down, and majority of people, the questions they were sending me, that ask him, are we going to be still having combinations in A-level? Which subjects are we going to study? Which are going to be kicked out? And of course, we shall have many people, when the new curriculum is rolled out, we shall even go to the ministry and pick those exact implementers or exact people who have been proposing. But this one here is a teacher in field, is an educationist who goes to class and does A, B, C, and D. So parents out there, this is one of the mentors. So we decided to bring him on board now, because in most cases, like we have earlier echoed in our discussions, in most cases, when you bring in those people in the ministry, they put it into politics and we fail to get the actual thing on ground. Now I have decided to begin with a classroom teacher who is on ground. Then I will keep on bringing people even from ministry, the implementers, the people who proposed, and we shall come to a common ground and know what is right, what is wrong, where should we improve. So as we wind up our discussion, I will pose this question to him, and we see how A-level curriculum is going to look like, and then we partly tackle on the welfare of teachers. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share our YouTube on our YouTube TMF channel. It is important and very, very, very paramount. Now, my guest today, Mr. Sharif, are we going to have the combinations as we have been having? Which subjects are knocked out, which subjects are brought in, and what new thing is included that is different from what we have been having?
Currently, this is the information we have from NCDC. We had the first framework that had merged subjects and scrapped out of some subjects. But the new information that we are having, probably we may get new information after today's workshop that is happening at NCDC. But they are telling us we are retaining everything. All subjects are remaining, all combinations are remaining, but the change is going to be on the mode of teaching. That now we are going to make it learner-based. And that is one question that we also have, because we all know A-level. A-level is specifically learner-based. So we are wondering what change are they going to bring in this A-level curriculum that has not been there.
Thank you. We shall follow up. We shall keep a keen eye on that story, and probably we are going on ground in some of these workshops to pick the information from the horse's mouth. Given chance and opportunity, and you are put in front of the first lady or even the committee on education, what would you ask from those people to better our education system?
One of the good things that government does, our government is very good. It always does very good policies, but they always chip in some irregularities that are not required. One thing that we should drive very much is the National Teachers Policy, that 2019 National Teachers Policy. We should very much welcome it. We should develop it. We should furnish it. It is going to come and aid us. One, we are having a challenge with the regulation in this teaching profession. And minus regulations, we can't manage because we are. Therefore, before you even work at the building schools, bettering the education sector, doing what, a new curriculum, everything, first think about this teacher you are going to put in front of this learner. Is this teacher well equipped to stand in front of this learner? I'll give you examples of, for example, in Finland. Finland is one country that has the ideal education sector. And what makes the ideal education sector worth is its investment in its teachers. Finland has invested in its teachers that to become a teacher there is close to impossible. It's the hardest job to acquire in Finland. But come to Uganda. Everyone is free to enter, everyone is free to exit. The regulation is very minimal. Then when we come to this, because the National Teachers, it has three areas that I find mismatch. One, we are not looking at the remuneration of these teachers. Yes, you want us to be professionals, but a professional is motivated by a reward. We are not having a comprehensive discussion on how we shall remunerate these teachers. Two, we are not having a proper plan on how to fund, on how to enable these teachers who have been on grade 3 reach a diploma, a degree level that everyone requires to be a teacher in the country. We have not made enough research into the challenges that are affecting because challenges of education is mostly is absenteeism. People are having this challenge of absenteeism, and government has not went onto ground to make proper research on the challenges that are affecting these teachers, because you can't make me a professional without challenges, without solving the challenges that are making me unprofessional.
How do you want the government to address the challenges of teachers' welfare?
Welfare bit is because on the welfare is we should be well thought of whenever they are making this remuneration bit. We should have I've seen unity being formed, the Uganda National Teachers Association, Education Unity. It has been formed, but it even has an institution where we teach these teachers more. But government should have made it, we should have given us a waiver that for a teacher who is on grade 3, we are giving you a 30% discount on all these courses. Come back and study. Than leaving this whole burden of upgrading to the teacher. Because if you want to study now in Uganda, it's upon you to go and study, which is a problem. And then you are telling us in some years to come, if this is implemented, minus a degree, you are out of class, which is close to impossible. People are in schools there that are earning 200,000. How will I be able to go back and pay tuition over 500,000? Yet I'm earning 200,000. Yet I'm even having a family to look after. So government should find a program, or should create a program where we are giving assistance to all these teachers to push them from grade 3 to a diploma, or to a degree, or to even to a master's.
All right, I think all have been well said and done. I will just give you a few seconds to give your parting shots. 1, to the schools out there, head teachers, your fellow teachers. 2, the parents, and then the government.
For the government, we begin with the government, because when you look at our constitution, all these first 20 national objectives, they are all only going to be achieved if we invest in education. Minus investing in education, we are creating a disaster in this country. We are setting a time bomb. All the employment opportunities, all the jobs, all the entrepreneurship that we want in this country, that the government will benefit from, will come from education. To my fellow teachers out there, there is light at the end of the tunnel. Let us continue serving our nation, because this is the call we have been given. Teaching is a calling. Most of us are in teaching because we love these learners. Every time we stand in front of this class, you feel that radiance. You even forget that your salary is going to be delayed. And then you enjoy, because these learners give you that positive positive radiance. Then for the parents out there, we continue to thank you very much. We ask you to give a hand. Please, wherever you can, give a hand. One thing that has enabled Kenya implement this CBC curriculum is the cooperation between the teachers and the parents. They have stopped crying about the government. Yes, they also have a lot of challenges in implementation of this CBC, but at least the success they have gotten is the cooperation between the parent and the teacher. That is paramount. Please, the parents out there, anytime you can cooperate with the school, please willingly do so, as we wait for also our government to also come in and take us on. To the nation, the discussion today has been on the new curriculum and its impact on the education and the future of education and the teachers' welfare. This is very vital. We are looking at it as a new curriculum, but we are looking at the brains of these children. Every time you miss out something in this learner's development progress, you are missing out, you are creating a fixation in the future, and all these things will be seen. When you look at the town, these are noisy people, rioting people, vulgar people. All these are products of a failed education system. If we invest in this education system, we shall mitigate all this disobedience and disorganization in the country.
Thank you so much, my guest today, for giving us your time to discuss matters of education. Matters of education are matters of national importance. My dear viewers out there, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. Any question you have, please drop it in our comment section, and probably we shall have the answer. If need be, we shall bring him back to answer those questions. But keep the discussion going in the comment section, and try as hard and much as possible to make sure you contribute a thing or two also in the running of our country, Uganda. I'm Ivan Tukundane, and this is the Ivan Show.